Russian air defense missile systems spotted moving closer to Ukraine. Russian military hardware, including medium-range surface-to-air missile systems, continues to pour into areas of the country adjacent to Ukraine, as concerns grow that Moscow could be preparing some kind of new invasion of Ukrainian territory. Videos that recently emerged on social media appear to show an extensive array of Buk-1 air defense missiles and related equipment, together with tanks and artillery, at a rail marshalling yard relatively close to the border with Ukraine. Meanwhile, Chief of the Defense Staff in the United Kingdom, Admiral Sir Tony Radakin, had warned that a full-scale invasion of Ukraine would be on a scale not seen in Europe since World War II. The videos in question were posted to the Russian Telegram messaging site yesterday and have been assessed by the Conflict Intelligence Team, or CIT, an open-source information analysis group. One clip taken from the cab of a moving train shows elements associated with the Buk-1 air defense system, known in the West as the SA-11 Gadfly, at Maslovka Station in western Russia's Voronezh Oblast. Meanwhile, hardware from the Buk-1 system, including 9A310M1 transporter erector launcher and radar vehicles, TLARs, 9A39M1 transporter erector launcher and transloader vehicles, 9T229 missile transporters on the KRAZ-225 truck chassis, and 9YA266 transporter containers for the system's missiles. The same footage also includes T-80U tanks and MSTA-S self-propelled howitzers in the first video. At least, there is evidence that the individual hull numbers on certain vehicles from the Buk-1 system have been painted out, according to CIT analysis. The 4th Guard Tanks Division, 288th Artillery Brigade, and 49th Air Defense Missile Brigade, all of which are part of the 1st Guard Tanks Army. Notably, the analysts have previously identified other elements of the 1st Guard's Tank Army, including the 4th Tank Division at Maslovka. These are by no means the first such movements of Russian military equipment close to the country's borders with Ukraine, but it is significant that air defense systems are now also present in such strength. Previously, Western intelligence and open-source analysts have tracked Russia's positioning of heavy armor, artillery, and even long-range missiles in these areas. For them to operate in a potential conflict, they would require a protective umbrella provided by the highly mobile Buk-1 system, as well as other air defense systems. Meanwhile, Russia already possesses a considerable air power advantage over Ukraine, and each additional air defense system in the region further erodes Ukraine's ability to conduct any kind of meaningful air operations in a future conflict. In addition to this forward-deployed military hardware, Russia has also been increasingly bolstering the logistical and medical support that would be required for any campaign of significant duration. You can read our previous report on that critical component of any new major military intervention into Ukraine territory here. Official Ukrainian reports suggest that there are now approximately 100,000 Russian troops in the areas adjacent to the borders with Ukraine. Meanwhile, the Washington Post published a story stating that U.S. intelligence assesses the figure to be smaller, at around 70,000 Russian troops, but that Moscow is planning a large-scale intervention into Ukraine, involving at least 175,000 personnel on the ground. That could happen by early 2022, an unnamed official from President Joe Biden's administration has said, according to the Washington Post.